Today is the 17th day of May 2020. 3 weeks until the start of a new hurricane season. But on Friday night, it felt like it was hurricane already in the Bahamas, and indeed Abaco. 9 months in, all Kai Mills and the people of Abaco wants to know what is priority to this government. I want to ask a question, F&M PLP independents that went through Hurricane Dorian. What have you seen this F&M government done in 9 months that you can be proud about? I'm not talking about those ones that get a little contract from the government and diehards, their own families and friends. I'm talking about the independent people. What tell Kai Mills? After 9 months, you have seen that the government has prioritized, put on the front burner to bring some relief to Abaco and Abaconians. What? Question. When? I'm almost tired of doing videos, but I'm hoping that somebody of importance is listening. It seems like we hardly could get anything. The simplest of things, a month after the hurricane, everybody packed into the business depot at the Prime Minister's office. They're gonna give you money for the low cost, depends on the stages of your house damages. They were gonna give you monies. 9 months in, everybody's calling, what happened to that well? I said, well, that well was an empty well to begin with. It's all talk, no substance. And that added, I saw the most depressing thing was to see the older people of Mashaba. And understand, everybody became equal. Everybody had the same problem if you didn't have insurance. But the older people should have been in the line first. They should have been first priority. But they shoved them on the side like they're insignificant. And they had to go back and forth, back and forth. Every time it's something different, like, give me what I need to do and stop having me back and forth. This is compounding the frustration of going through a hurricane and don't have a home, don't have water to bathe, don't have electricity, you don't have a bed to sleep on, and the government has been the worst disaster since the disaster of Hurricane Dorian. You would have thought by now. We look, and I look in frustration at the manpower, right downtown Mashaba, the mud and the peas. All the boats was coming in every week with pallets and trailers. They had trailers and trailers of fencing material. Ah, man. They spend millions on fencing material to fence in the mud and the peas. Millions of dollars to fence in sand banks. But not even $100,000 have came on neither one of those boats to help the residents of Dunderstan, Central Pines, Murphytown, and Mashaba. Nothing. I sit there and I'm taking videos, and the fellas that they brought in from Nassau to do the heavy equipment, I was just taking pictures, talking to myself. I ain't getting to know rigmarole. And they seems like they criminals they brought in now, so they threatening me. Why am I taking a photo of their fencing. Is it against the law to take a photo of fence? We couldn't get our material coming, the ones that could afford it, because the government had the boats jam up with their colleagues and their cronies, bringing bulldozers, tractors, fencing, everything, and all hands and all focus was on the mud and the peas. The question is, it's going to be an interesting one. Who's going to come out of this owning the mud? Who going to extend the dock and make it into their own port? There has to be somebody. Why the government has pocketed up so much money to the mud. And I want to say that I don't mind that mud should have been cleaned up. I'm with that. I'm fully on board with the government with that. That should have happened 30 years ago. But it happened, thank God. But what about us? In Dundas and Murphytown, Central Pines, Marsh Harbor proper. My God. The trash is still on the streets of the center of Marsh Harbor. The trash is still on Pelican Shores. Right up from the Gibron, the road almost broken 3/4. Thank God for the residents. If the residents of Pelican Shores wouldn't have fixed the road, Ministry of Works and Richard Bruno, all Richard Bruno looking forward to is coming and having a drink with the boys after hours. He's absolutely useless. I saw that y'all send the Canadian from Bahama Power and Light. Y'all should have put Richard Bruno on the same flight back to Canada. They have been no use for us. And why is it in this country that the government has to hire a white expatriate to come and run a little area like Abaco, the Power and Light, all the black brilliant minds? Why doesn't the F&M government trust no blacks to run nothing? We had a black guy that running Ministry of Works and doing a good job. But soon as the F&M won, they fired him. It reminded me of Boat Harbor. The PLP government sent Ali Kashmir out of this country for stealing the workers' tip. 1 year he stole every dollar they couldn't find. They knew he was a thief in the beginning because he said to put all the money into one pot. They say, no, we don't agree with that. We agree that you will get tip according to your work. If this girl got a bad attitude and stink, why should she get half of our tip? All the girls said, no, we should get our own tip collectively. Ali Kashmir, the government of Bahamas, sent him out as an undesirable. There's a Trinidadian white man. Well, by God, 5 days later, Ali Kashmir was brought back into the Bahamas after he just left a week prior, 2 weeks prior, as a non-desirable because he's white. Richard Bruno doesn't have more education than the blacks that was running Bahama Power, Ministry of Works. We have people, we had a girl that was running Bahama Power and Light, a black girl. First one in the history of Abaco, doing as good a job as the Canadian was doing. But this F&M government has to bring somebody white in charge of the blacks. The black is the minister, but they don't trust the blacks. How could that be? I told you all on an earlier video that black on black racism, that's wasting the black on white. And I've seen it so much. Even in my community, in my district of Dundastan, in my local government, the blacks hating blacks. You know, the beautiful thing I learned so much from the white man in Mashaba. I ain't learned much from the black fellas. But the white man in Mashaba, they may not be speaking to each other. They may hate each other, but they are in business together. Because when they tally up the amount, everybody get their fair share. I have a problem with a black fella right now because he believes that he has the rights to steal from his black brother. But if he was in business with a white person, he will share fair because of the greed of my black brother. We can't come to the table and do what is right because the black brother think that he has a mandate and a right to steal from his black brother. It's called greed. Same thing in the government. There will be a project. There's a black brother that can do it, but no. Let's go with the white fella because that black brother, he's going to talk our business and we can't let him get that kind of money. We got to hold him to the point that he's begging. But give it to the white man. He'll be okay. If you see Kai was white and what he's doing to call out and to point out, I would be a hero in this country. But because I'm black, the most people that are hating is my black. Most people that saw me trying to get a nomination that is hating, it's the blacks. The blacks know that Kai can do the job, but they want to stand on your neck, just like this F&M government is standing on the throats of Abaco and Abaconians. The Prime Minister himself has 2 feet on our throat and we're barely breathing. And he's stomping to try to disintegrate and to destroy Abaco and Abaconians. Why? I don't know, because his job is to take care of the less fortunate. But like my black brothers in Abaco do me, standing on my throat, because all I do is speak. Even if you speak against the wrong, you become enemy number one. I recognize my karma. But if God give me utterance, I shall do what says the Lord. The Jehovah God that protects and guides me. That is why I do what I do. You're live with Kai on WCAY, while the government of the Bahamas has 2 feet on the throats of Abaco and Abaconian 9 months in and refuse to let us breathe easily. Kai care.